Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Libra energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Libra energy. The bottom row is going to be a more worldly, shadowy Libra energy. We all have our dualistic nature. Some people could be struggling within themselves. They might want to live their life differently and take some different action in their life or be more bold and brave or confident. But they're struggling within themselves to make that decision, because the bottom row can represent wanting to stay in our comfort zone instead of stepping outside of our comfort zone in high vibe energy. So we're going to look at it from that perspective, but we're also just going to read it from the perspective that some people are moving forward in life differently. Life's about healing, growing, maturing yourself, looking at life differently, expanding your perception of yourself and the world around you. And some people, in relation to some other people in the world or in their life, they could be moving forward in life differently. And then when they're doing that, then the bottom row can represent some other people in their life or a way of living their life that they don't view life that way anymore. You know, we all go through these stages of life. We were age 15, we were 18, we were 21, we were 25. At different stages of our life, we view life differently. And sometimes when we're viewing life differently and we've moved on to the next phase of life, some other people in our life haven't, and they're not ready to, and they may never be ready to. You know, we all move forward in life differently and view life differently when we're ready. So let's go see. We all tap into Libra energy about what we think is just and fair at any given moment in our life. So listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story and where some other people are. The reason for the top row's reading is the thinking man, which I view as the King of Swords, which is also the reason why the reading came out. You know, again, we could have viewed life from a certain way, and then we kind of look at life differently. In this picture, they're holding a clear crystal. Of course, a clear crystal looks just like a rock, but you hold it up to the light. And of course, in tarot, when we talk about the light being illuminated to the truth about things, seeing things differently, seeing through our fear, our insecurities or whatever, we look at life differently. And then we can see how much more there. You know, of course, if you hold a clear crystal up to the light, it's going to show all the rainbow colors and everything. And it's kind of like seeing that within ourselves. We have so much more to us. Libra is air sign energy. We can get caught up in our mind, and we can live more from our mind than our heart, and kind of not appreciating our own unique talent, skills, and are even acknowledging our more loving, intuitive nature. Maybe some people don't listen to their intuition, even though their intuition could be saying, you shouldn't do this, this isn't a good idea, I don't think this is going to work out. We all go through a phase of life, you know, we want, what we think is just and fair, we think is just and fair, even though our intuition could be screaming in our head, you should not do this, we do it anyway, because that's part of learning lessons, right? In our more worldly, egoic nature, we have lessons to learn. Maybe some people are realizing, maybe I should listen to my intuition. You know, I think our intuition was given to us as a gift to help us navigate this world. Just like bats have sonar and birds and butterflies know to fly to warmer climates when it gets cold out. They don't question it, but we as human beings have this dualistic nature. We have free will. And sometimes some people aren't using the gifts they were given in a high vibe way. You know, we're also part of the animal kingdom, but we read in the paper about people who act like animals, you know, and then people who act like a computer practically. But, you know, we were given our emotions and our creativity and our imagination and our sexuality. It was all it can be used for good or evil. Maybe some people are just starting to realize how to use their gifts in a better way, how to use their mind, because again, Libra being air sign energy of the mind, are we using our shadowy energy can be how these things oppress us and confine us and limit us and imprison us? Do we let our mind imprison us? Do we think our mind is the end all be all? This is the precious gem. I must use my mind to protect myself from being hurt. Yeah, our mind was made to protect us, but do we give so much? Are we so tipped out of balance, living more from our mind than our heart, that it's thrown our life out of balance? And we're always doing what seems logical and practical and what will keep us safe and how I won't get hurt. Well, we're not living probably around wild animals like we did back in the caveman days. So sometimes the biggest threat people have is being hurt by love. And some people are so defensive to being hurt by love. That's like the aspect of self they don't tap into. They have that creative spark within them, but they don't. I could get hurt doing that, so I have to be practical and logical and live from my mind instead of my heart. And it's all about getting balance with this dualistic nature that we have and trying to do things in a more balanced, unified way. Love keeps us unified, otherwise we're kind of in scattered energy, and whatever phase of life or way we're feeling that day might be what runs our life. Some people are letting their mind run their life, which can be their fear, their insecurity. We're meant to master our mind. We're meant to master our emotions, not be a slave to them. Because shadowy energy is represented by the devil, and it's all the things that we can become enslaved to. So you might have known some people that maybe live more from their mind than their heart. Shadowy King of Swords. They can be bossy. They can be controlling. I say this is just and fair. You should think this is just and fair. And it's like, I don't think that's just and fair. We all have different ideas of what we think is just and fair. A more worldly, shadowy perspective could be, my truth is it's about the world, or it's about me more so than anyone else. It's about me, or indulging me, or the things of the world. That's my truth. And other people are like, my truth is I do live in the world. I do want these things of the world just like other people want. But I think there's a higher truth and justice to aspire to, and there's more to life than just me or the things of the world. And if I really want to get the justice I want in the world, I think it's about being balanced. I want these things of the world, yes, but I also want just and fair and loving and warm and encouraging relationships. Some people are willing to sacrifice those things to make it just all about them. Not very just and fair, but they might think of themselves as being just and fair. But when they're in a relationship, it's more about them. The scales of justice are supposed to be tipped in their favor. Well, that's not... that might be their truth, but that's not everyone else's truth. Love is supposed to be where you work together with people cooperatively. You treat other people the way you want to be treated. So, we've all dealt with some people who might harness their Libra energy differently than we harness ours. Because with all the zodiac signs, we harness those traits and characteristics of those zodiac signs either in a more high vibe way, a more worldly way, a more shadowy way, and we just need to see the truth because the truth sets us free. I accept that some people view life differently. What they think is just and fair is different than what I think is just and fair. What they're driven and motivated by is different than what I'm driven and motivated by. If they have more things that still manipulate them and imprison them, and those things don't imprison me, well then, we're really not on the same page. Do they live more from their mind than their heart? Are they defensive to love and I'm not? Well, then we're not on the same page, and I see the truth of it. So, the masculine figures in tarot also can represent how people are presenting themselves and the action that they're taking in their life. And taking action, high vibe people are taking action in truth and love and justice and fairness. They're doing this work within themselves to cut out the things they need to cut out within themselves to get more balanced. Speaking the truth to themselves. There's certain people in my life who are not on the same page. I'm going to maintain balance within myself. Libra is represented by the scales of justice. I'm going to maintain balance within myself out of truth and love so I don't tip out of balance and run my life off into the ditch. I'm going to keep focused on the truth and love to guide the decisions I make. And I'm going to communicate my truth to other people. High vibe people offer other people love and encouragement, to have hope and faith and belief in themselves, to heal, to grow, to mature themselves, to maintain balance within themselves. But all we can do is offer love and encouragement and speak our truth. And we have to realize that everybody's got free will. Some people will move forward with us, some people won't. Some people basically could be saying, no, I'm not moving forward with you in that way. Other people are saying, I think I am on the same page as you. I want to work cooperatively with you at work or in a friendship group, in a family dynamic, in a romantic relationship. And other people are saying, no. Or I'm just not there yet. We all can know people, but, do we have that certain thing also that makes us drawn and attracted to being friends or in relationships with certain people? We're looking for that certain spark. So let's go look. Well, first let's go look at, we kind of talked about the top row. We'll get back to that in a minute. But let's go look at the more worldly, shadowy row. We have walking away, angel of strength, financial constraints, and anxiety reverse. And going on a journey. So again, we all could have lived our life a certain way, viewed life a certain way. But in the walking away card, it's kind of like the Eight of Wands card is how I view it. Some people were inspired to go on this journey, and they had, in order to step out of our comfort zone, to live life differently, to have some more hope and faith and belief in our dreams, we have to temper our fears and our insecurities about moving forward differently. And the financial constraints card is like the Five of Pentacles card, which is Taurus energy, which Taurus can represent our philosophy of life. Why have I been staying in shadowy energy? Probably because of my philosophy of life. I have fear of doing things differently. I know I could keep living life just like this. Perfect. No anxiety. Let's just keep doing this. And we probably had been doing that for quite a long time. But when we keep living our life a certain way, where we're not facing our fears and our insecurities, and we're not healing and growing and maturing ourselves to our full potential, we kind of start to feel in lack and it causes us some inner conflict, because we could know I'm not facing my fears and insecurities. Like, I'm playing it safe. Like, nope, I'm just going to keep this job. There might be some things about this job I don't like, or the way I'm living my life, but if I stay right here, then I ain't got to worry about it. I can just keep doing this. I get to stay in my comfort zone. I can just keep going on the way I want. And that's the thing about listening to our intuition. We go through a phase of life, again, just like we did age 15 to age 18, age 21 to age 25. But we can see other people and how they live their life. And it's like, well, why am I not being more bold and brave and confident? If there's something about this job or this relationship I don't like, or the way I'm living my life, why am I not doing this work within myself to be inspired to temper my fears and my insecurities and my self-learning beliefs, to be willing to learn the lessons I was meant to learn from this life experience, take the good things that I've learned, let go of some of the more immature ways of viewing life, or some of my fears, or, work through some of my fears or my insecurities or my self-learning beliefs, so that I can move forward in life differently. And then I go on this journey of, and a big problem for some people why they're not living their life differently is because maybe they'd have to speak the truth about something and they don't want to speak the truth. Or it can just be they don't want to see the truth, because shadowy energy can be wanting to live in fantasy land, or wanting to live in denial, not wanting to deal with the truth, because the truth sets us free to live life differently. And for some people, they don't want to live life differently. And then if we're in friendships or relationships with them, and if they're being kind of shadowy in some way, where it's just, Maybe they have a lack mentality. Maybe they only live more from their worldly view of life and they don't really connect in with their more emotionally intuitive, loving nature. If we keep staying in relationship with them, we would feel like I'm going to be left out in the cold if I keep staying in this relationship because it doesn't grow. They might be inspired to live their life this way. They're happy to live their life this way, but it's like, are we ever going to like go on this journey of healing, growing, maturing, maybe being more just and fair? Shadowy Sagittarius energy can be people, who do have some more lessons learned in life than some other people. It's considered like an immature player energy. Operate from their ego, are more about themselves or the world. That's what drives and motivates them. Indulgence or more about ego and image and money and materialism. And in their Taurus philosophy of life, it is maybe more about making their life all about that. I want a certain status and image. I want people to view me like I've gotten justice in the world. But the way they think getting justice and looking like they have gotten the things of the world that other people have, it's all kind of maybe more strategy. Like, who do I get in a relationship with? What job do I take to make me look like I have a certain status or image or look like I have what some other people in the world have? But they could have these immature ways even of viewing relationships, which is I get in a relationship with people because if I think they're good for my ego or my image or my status, or I think they'll indulge me in my immature ways or my egoic ways or my more worldly viewpoint of life. Sometimes there's some people that prey on people that they feel are left out in the cold. I want to go find someone who has a lack mentality. I want to go find someone who's maybe on the same page as me, or someone who's more immature, or someone who's maybe in their ego, and then I can get them to move forward with me in a relationship, and that makes it look like I've gotten justice, like I've moved on, like I've healed, like I've grown, I've matured. But some of these people, they haven't done any of that inner work within themselves. It's just to try to create an illusion that they've changed, that they've grown, that they've matured, that they're not the same person they were. We've all been in workplaces where people are bossy or controlling and they think it's just and fair. It's like someone like that who decides because other people in the workplace are wanting them to like grow up and mature themselves, and they're like, how dare you? I am this just and fair person. I view myself as this certain type of person, or this is the way I view life. And then they go to get a different job to try to create this illusion like, look, I've moved on. Look, I've changed. Look, I got a much better job. Look, I'm in my ego. Looks like I'm indulging myself and going on this new journey. But they're the exact same person they were when they left the old job. It's like it might look good for a while, but you can't hide the truth of who you are forever. And I'm sure eventually your shadowy philosophy of life is going to show itself. And odds are, initially the people they get in a relationship with, because people can be bright, they can be smart, they can know how to work with people to a degree, but then their more shadowy nature, prideful nature, immature nature, bossy, controlling nature comes out. And then the next people who get in a relationship with them are the people trying to love and encourage them to temper their pride and their ego and their fear and their insecurity and their kind of more bossy, controlling ways, trying to make it work. And eventually the people are like, I'm done, I'm leaving, or I'm firing you. The pattern keeps repeating itself over and over because some of these people, you have to be willing to get out of your pride and ego to admit that you even have lessons to learn. Maybe I do have some healing to do. Maybe I do have some growing and maturing to do. Maybe I do need to expand my idea of what I think is just and fair. Because some people just think life is about them. This shadowy card could be people should just indulge them. Oh no, I'm just like this immature person and I'm kind of prideful or egotistical or bossy or controlling or immature or self-centered. And I just think people should go on this journey with me and I should be able to move forward with them. Well, initially people will move forward with them because they maybe haven't seen the truth. And that's sometimes what people are looking for. I just need to go find someone who doesn't know the truth of me. And I say that because the anxiety card is like the 8 and 9 of swords, which can be people who just don't know the truth about these people. They're not focused in the upright on the truth. They don't know them. They're not worried about them. They don't know that they need to be worried about them. So then they go get in relationships with people like that, like, oh, I got a new job or new friend or new relationship to go indulge myself in. And it'll work out for as long as those people, I can like hide the truth. Shadowy people can be people who try to create an illusion that I'm high vibe when they're really not. And until those people figure out the truth, I'm going to indulge in this for as long as I can. Because I want it to look like I've moved on. I want to, in my pride and ego, I want to look like I'm not the same person I was before. I left that job, that relationship, that friendship. And maybe there are people who don't want to, put any work and effort into love. I just want to indulge myself in a relationship. That's how I view life, male or female. I don't want to have to think about what is just and fair. I don't want to temper my ego. I want to keep moving forward in my ego or my immature view of life or my indulging my more immature nature. I have these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. And when other people see the truth of me and they decide I'm leaving, well, then I feel left out in the cold. And I'm in my ego because other people do grow up and mature and heal themselves and are just and fair, get just and fair and balanced within themselves, and they want me to do that too. I refuse. Everybody's got free will. Some people are like, I refuse high vibe Gemini energy, high vibe Libra. I don't want to work with my more emotionally intuitive, growing to my full potential nature. That's not my truth. My truth is I just want to go indulge myself in the world. And they're not, some of them aren't even up in their head about it because that's their truth. And that's how they want to live their life. They might not care if they don't ever add to their foundation and become more stable, more grounded, more self-aware, more balanced. They might not care. I'm happy living my life this way. And we just have to see the truth of it. But some people that were in some type, and we can say other people just because we have different people in our life, and depending on where we're at in our life and the lessons that we've learned, we're going to be in different relationships with different people. But we could have just realized the way I'm living my life, it's time for me to go. It's time for me to get out of my own lack mentality, maybe get out of my own codependent nature and learn to love and believe in myself and give myself the things that I wish other people would have given me, because maybe I've been hanging out with some people that are happy that I am in more codependent energy, happy that I have a lack mentality, happy that I'm indulging in these things of the world along with them, or making my life more about the things of the world or ego or immaturity or whatever, because that's how they live their life. But then we realize this isn't how I want to keep living my life. I'm inspired to face my fears, to detach from this old way of viewing life or living life. And maybe because the way they had been living their life was causing them a lot of stress and anxiety, and I want to free myself from that. Well, I have the free will choice about how I live my life, how I view life, to heal, to grow, who I hang out with, who I don't hang out with. And the high vibe people said, I'm going on this journey. Some people already did that. Some people are just now doing that. So they spoke their truth. And again, that's why some people aren't going to go on this journey with you, because it would require them to see the truth, deal with the truth, speak the truth, take the action in their life they would need to take to get balance within themselves, instead of being more tipped out of balance in shadowy, worldly energy. And some people aren't willing to do that. They maybe have to quit aligning with certain ways of viewing life or being or people in their life, and they're not willing to do that. And, we all, if we're living a certain phase of life and that's where we're at, it's just unfair for us to live our life that way. Like when we were 18, it was just unfair to act like an 18-year-old, live like an 18-year-old. And the same thing with the other people. Of course, everybody has free will, so they can live their life whatever they want, way they want. It's just that we reap what we sow. And if this is what some people want to keep creating and working with and manifesting in their life, they can. It's just that sometimes other people kind of get, I've been there, I've done that. It's time to go to the next phase of life, temper my fears, my insecurities, grow up and mature myself, and step out of my comfort zone. And I am part of that whole life experience. Could have been for some people to get them to do this work within themselves, to work through their own fears, insecurities, lack mentality, to stand up for what they believe in and speak their truth, or just to get more balanced within themselves. And when the people did this work within themselves, living their life at a certain phase of life and did this work within themselves, now they're kind of like a different person than they were before. We're not the same person at age 21 that we were at 15 or 18. We have expanded our perception of ourselves and the world around us and what we believe is possible. And hopefully, we've grown and matured some. And some other people either just aren't ready to do that, and that's fine. We just need to see the truth of it. Or maybe they are in more shadowy ways of being and they don't want to see the truth of that. But the other people could have seen the truth of it. So we start out in the top row with 2 cards not showing themselves. So the way I view this is the high vibe people that are ready to move forward in life differently had to be willing to cut out aligning with these energies in a shadowy way. And then they had to be willing to detach from some things in their life that were aligned with that energy in a shadowy way. If I'm not going to live my life like that anymore or view life that way, I'm probably not on the same page as some people. And if they still view life from that more shadowy perspective, we're not on the same page. Angel of Love in the second chakra. So the second chakra is kind of like we all have our base foundation, like in our Taurus energy of how we view life. And we can get in relationships with people and we could have gotten in relationships with some people to heal a core wound. That would be the first chakra. And in the top row, or we thought we had, and we maybe did in a lot of ways, have a similar foundation. But then when we go to the second level of life, about working together cooperatively with other people, again, some people, we can have love for them, but the way they like to interact with people, we get our base needs met, our stability, our security, our philosophy of life, and then we want to work together with other people. That's like the second chakra. We could have realized that what we love and how we view love in how we want to work together with other people is different. Could both people have love for the other people? Yeah. But the things that I want to go enjoy, and the things that I feel are just and fair, and the way I view relationships, and the way I think things are just and fair in a relationship, or the way I think it's just and fair to treat people in a relationship, can be different. And so we have to accept the truth of that, or other people are in other relationships, want to be in other relationships. You know, we just need to see the truth of it. There can be people we want to be friends with, that we want to be in relationships with, and they're already in relationships or love someone else. Whatever the case is, it's just dealing with the truth of it. And also, you know, we could have gotten in relationships because we felt left out in the cold. And maybe some people are very loving people. You can just think, oh, if I just get in a relationship with people, well, not just anyone, but, you know, find someone who I think, like, there's potential here, and I get in a relationship with them. I'm sure everybody wants to do love, and then you get in a relationship with them, and you kind of realize that they might want to be in a relationship with you. They might like to stay in a relationship with you. It's just that your philosophy of life is different. And Taurus energy can represent all these different things. It can be, you know, do we have the same religious or spiritual beliefs? Other things that can interfere is like, you know, so many things. How do I view people I'm in a relationship with? Well, the way I view people that I'm in a relationship with can be different than how other people choose to view people they're in a relationship with. But it can do with, you know, it could even be people's religious difference, their ethnic race differences, their, if some people are more defensive to love and other people are more open to love, and that's when we realize, you know, I can have love for people and they can have love for me, but for us to work cooperatively together in a relationship, because of our differences, we're just really not on the same page. So then we have to love ourselves enough to accept some people are going to live their life the way they want to live it. You know, they're just people that we know, maybe that we don't spend that much time with, even if it's your own sibling or your adult children, you know. It's like there can be love there, but you don't really kind of live your life the same. So it's like, I can have love for you and you go live your life and I'll go live my life. We can talk here and there. All the people that we meet out in the world, or if you go to the bar that you socialize with, you know all these people, but am I going to date you or stay in a relationship with you now that I know that we view life differently and the way we view relationships or something? No. And will I maybe still see you at Christmas? And, you know, you can still get along with people, but they're just not people that you've realized that you want to build with at like the next stage of your life. And sometimes some relationships, people come into our life for us to learn lessons from each other. But that was the point of us meeting each other, was for everybody to get clear about what their truth is. And that, you know, I can have love for you, but we're really not quite on the same page and driven and motivated by the same things. So you go live your life, I'm going to go live my life. And both people could be coming up to the high vibe way of living life. They're just living life differently and maybe with different people. So the high vibe people are now doing this work within themselves, maybe of getting clear about what their truth is and how they want to move forward in their life. For some of the people in your life that are more kind of prideful or shadowy or bossy or live more from their mind than their heart, they might see you taking this action in the world and seeming very stable and grounded and balanced within yourself. And when these two cards aren't showing themselves, it can be that they don't understand how you're doing it. And the thing is because you did this work within yourself not to be operating from just more from your mind or your worldly view of life or your more indulgent worldly nature. You've done this work within yourself to heal your core foundation from a place of love, and you're ready and you're building your life differently now. If we have some wounds and pain and heartbreak in our core foundational level, it's hard to go to the next level of life. And we maybe have to come in contact with some more different people in the world that will inspire us or trigger us into seeing the truth about a core wounding in our core foundation. And some people haven't healed from a core foundational issue within them, and other people maybe did, and so they're moving forward in life differently. The truth sets us free. If you were to look at life like a video game, when you complete all the obstacles on the one level of life, you're ready to go to the next phase of life. And some people haven't dealt with some pain, heartbreak, fear, insecurity, lack mentality, to look at life as an adventure to be lived. Maybe just staying in fear. Some people could have fear of doing love. What if people leave me out in the cold? What if it doesn't work out the way I want? And so some people free willingly give up love, maybe because they don't think they could do this work within themselves to pick themselves back up, to heal. So I'm not even going to do love. I'm just going to kind of stay more emotionally attached, get in relationships, maybe go find some other people that are on the same page as me, where we just want to indulge in our ego and we'll move forward together in life. But it is kind of more staying emotionally detached. I don't want to be in a deep, meaningful relationship. If I start to feel like, oh my gosh, I gotta get out of here and I need to leave because this is putting me, love to them is the danger zone. So up here in the top row, we have blossoming abundance, magician in the mirror, the fourth chakra, the heart, community, and adjacent possibilities. So again, we come into contact with all these different people to get clear about what our truth is. There's a part of us that would like to stay in it and keep living our life that way, because then we don't have to detach from anything. And we don't have to keep putting in this work to maintain balance within ourselves. And we don't have to keep loving and believing in ourselves and working with anyone else. We all like to stay in our comfort zone. Sometimes we'd rather stay with the devil we're with than face the unknown devil, But the whole thing is, if we've lived our life that way and we know it didn't make us happy, and the people we were in relationship, if we were being loving and encouraging to them and trying to get them to work with us in a more balanced way, and their idea of what they think is just and fair or what motivates them is different than ours, we know that's not our truth. And I think life-giving energy represented by God wants us to get the justice we deserve in the world, for us to face our fears, to grow to our full potential, to be in relationships with people who treat us the way we treat them, and to believe that we deserve to be in relationships with people who treat us the way we treat them. Because sometimes some loving people get in relationships with people and it's always trying to change them. Well, do we want to be in a relationship where people are trying to change us? So it's kind of like, how about I just deal with the truth? If they're not on the same page, if they seem immature and impulsive, if they seem to have addictions, if they seem to be prideful or egotistical, if they seem to be more about ego and image of themselves, how about I see the truth of it? And I start dealing with the truth instead of me living in fantasy land like, oh my gosh, I can change this person. How about we go find the people that are just, I don't have to change. The people who are on the same page as us. But I think, and that could be, I'm going to quit trying, because life has to be balanced and we need to be balanced within ourselves. And some people were more letting their heart run their life. Oh, but I'm loving. I'm going to go get in relationships with people who show that they're not on the same page as me, but I want to be in a relationship. So then And I could love them and think there's a connection there, and then I'll try to make them into a loving person. People are who they are. People went through all the debates within themselves. That's kind of our Taurus energy. Taurus is like the Supreme Court judge within ourselves. Everybody has Taurus Hierophant, Supreme Court judge within themselves. We live in this dualistic world. Should I do this? Should I not do this? What do I think is my truth? And people are the way they are because they have done this debate process within them. And we should accept it and get out. If we don't want to get in relationships that from the get-go we could know are mismatched, then quit getting in relationships that are mismatched. And sometimes we're very loving, nurturing people, and we want to love and nurture people. Well, we can kind of love and nurture people and not get in a relationship with them. Not date them, not marry them. It does take us requiring balance within ourselves. And if they haven't opened themselves up to loving and believing in themselves and getting more balance within themselves, to be free to give and receive love, we're going to be in an imbalanced relationship. And some people are that way right now, and they're still putting in a lot of work and effort trying to get someone to be a more just and fair and loving person in a relationship with them. And we need to see the truth of that. And some people, they like to view themselves as a loving person, but only in relation to people who kind of maybe don't love and believe in themselves. And then that's the role they like to play because it makes them feel, I'm this just and fair and balanced and loving person. Look at this person who could have had fears or insecurities or felt left out in the cold. I came in and got in a relationship with them. We're going on this journey. But the journey only lasts as long as the people they're in a relationship with don't do this work within themselves. If those people start to do this work within themselves and start to love and believe in themselves and heal and they change, then some of these people don't want to be in a relationship with them anymore because they like to play that role in people's life. It's that subtle difference between people who have a more shadowy view of relationships and people who have a more loving view. Everybody can view themselves as a loving person and like to get in relationships with people and play that loving, nurturing role. It's just the difference. The people who are motivated and inspired by love and hope and faith and belief want the people they're in a relationship with to heal and grow and mature themselves. And the other people are like, well, no, I want them to stay like this. I mean, they can grow and heal a little bit so we get along better, but I want to keep playing like this role in their life. Because shadowy energy can be where it's this imbalanced relationship. And some people view themselves as loving, but they want to play like the parent role or the teacher role. The other person is always supposed to be like needy. You're the student. You're the teacher. The opposite way, we get in a mismatched relationship. And the loving people are giving to the other people, trying to get them to love and believe in themselves so there's equal give and take. Some people like an imbalanced relationship. And for some of the people that were loving people, the other person could have liked you being in a relationship with them because they do have a lack mentality. And that can be what they think is just and fair. People are supposed to give to them. But that's perpetually how the relationship goes. You give, give, give. They take, take, take. And they never do this work within themselves. To do this work within themselves to heal and grow and mature. And some people, that's how they view life. I think that's just and fair. People are supposed to want to give to me. People are supposed to want to nurture me and love me. They kind of indulge their more immature worldly nature, or that's just their philosophy of life. Maybe in the world, these people seem to be moving forward in a very successful way, in a worldly way, but it could be they're attractive, they're charming, they have social clout, they have money, whatever they got. And their philosophy of life could be, because I have these things of the world, loving people are supposed to want to be in a relationship with me, and that's how I view relationships. I have these things of the world. I'm more aligned with my worldly view of life. And then loving people are supposed to want to be in a relationship with me because I have these things of the world that they might want, and they're a loving person. You know, there's a trade. Kind of shadowy Taurus, kind of like a transactional relationship. And some people can definitely be attracted to want to being in a relationship with them. They get in a relationship with them, and that's when they kind of realize it's kind of more of a transactional relationship. So this seemed like a good idea. This worked for you, but you never do this work within yourself to heal or grow and mature yourself. You have this way of viewing relationships where, I guess, if they think what they have is more valuable or important, they should be indulged in the relationship. Or they're just egotistical and think they should be kind of more indulged in a relationship. And the scales are always kind of tipped in their favor. And that can be how they view relationships. Well, if you had had more of the things that they thought they wanted, and if love is nice to be in a relationship with someone who's loving and nurturing and supportive, but they could be someone who lives more from their mind than their heart, it really, for some of them, it doesn't really matter. So long as I have someone who's willing to move forward in a relationship with me, kind of let me indulge myself in a relationship with them, male or female. I want to be bratty. I want to be bossy. I want to be controlling. I want to be detached. So long as I can find someone who's willing to move forward with me, really that's all I care about. Because love wasn't the driving factor in their life to begin with. And if they found someone who had more of the things maybe of the world and the ego and the image that they wanted, they'd be willing to indulge them. So then if they have more of those things, they think you should indulge them. Because it's the things of the world that drive and motivate them. Or the ego or the image or the status. How attractive are you? How much money you got? Blah, blah, blah. Male or female. I just went and saw the movie Wicked last night. It's a clear indication to an extreme of how people who live their life like that can view life and relationships. And I think the people who go live their life like that, just when we thought these things of the world were the things that were going to make us happy, or just being in a relationship was the answer to our problems, I think some of those people, pride comes before the fall. The Strength card, Leo energy, our pride and ego nature. If we take action more inspired by our pride, our ego, haven't learned to love and believe in ourselves, to get more balance within ourselves, we still have these lessons to learn. We're going to go on these journeys. That's why there's a key on either side. Nothing's wasted. We all have these lessons to learn. Some people already went and did that in life. They thought they were in maybe a relationship with someone who was on the same page as them. And at some point in time, they realized that they weren't on the same page. So they were willing to get out of the relationship, and they weren't going to keep staying in it out of fear or insecurity or pride or ego. Some of the people that are still living their life like that, I think like other people have before them, they're going to find out that that wasn't the answer. It's like going to find the answer, and then kind of like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, realizing the answer was within you all the time. We are the answer to our feeling balanced. But we have to do this work, and we have to heal at a core foundational level and learn to love and believe in ourselves to maintain balance within ourselves, so we're not in codependent energy looking to other people to make us feel more balanced within ourselves and more emotionally fulfilled or something. We all want relationships, but why are we getting in relationships? If we get in relationships because I feel that we're making decisions out of shadow energy, fear, insecurity, pride, ego, we're probably going to be left out in the cold. Or feeling left out in the cold, or making our life all about those things, and it's not really based maybe on our truth or love. And some people want to live their life like that, that's fine. Other people are moving forward. They have realized that the answer lies within them and the blossoming abundance and the magician. I have all the resources I need at any given moment in time. I have my mind, I have my creativity, I have my imagination, I have my body, I have my work ethic, I have the resources to begin to manifest what I love into reality, but it first starts with me seeing the truth that I need to operate from a foundation of love within myself. And love is the foundation from which, in my Supreme Court Taurus energy, philosophy of life, is the guiding factor for the decisions I make. No longer aligning with my more worldly philosophy of life and making decisions out of pride and ego and fear and insecurity. When I do that, it's kind of like, when we still have lessons learned, it's kind of like when the devil comes into our life. Oh, you didn't learn to love and believe in yourself, or you thought you could cheat the system. Sorry, there are rules and regulations to this world. And we're going to take you on a journey to learn some lessons to see if that's really how you want to live your life. It's not going to turn out the way you think, but if you want to not have to grow up, if you don't want to have to heal, if you don't want to speak your truth, if you are willing to settle for the things of the world, or in making your life about indulging yourself or your ego or your image more, you can do that. You have free will. But there is going to be other people who aren't going to hang out with you or be the person to be in a relationship with you. You do have choice in the world, and if you choose this, other people might choose that, and you're not moving forward in the same way. So what's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Libra energy that they might not see coming? Okay. The Queen of Pentacles, because of the King of Wands and the King of Swords. Some of you, this is kind of interesting. Aries and Libra are on opposite sides of the zodiac wheel, and within ourself and everyone else, they need to do this work to get balance between, what seems logical and practical, which can be being tipped out of balance, and making life more about themselves, because the King of Wands Aries energy is about the self. And we see the truth that some people, that is their truth. It's more about me. Okay. Some of you could have tried to know some people in your life that at work, or that you were trying to offer love and nurturing to, or that you wanted to marry, or you did marry. And you see maybe both an Aries and a Libra that you thought would be more on the same page as you. But when one person is holding the pentacle in high vibe, it means that they've learned a lesson. And then that's kind of between our emotional nature and being practical and grounded. Again, I can love people, but if before that was tipping me out of balance, because the truth was I was inspired because I love them. Well, we also have to be willing to see the truth and be more grounded and practical. So as you get more grounded and practical, maybe between what motivates and inspires you and what your truth is, but getting more balance between the two, that just because I could love someone, just because I'm attracted to someone, just because I want these certain things in the world, I have to be emotionally mature in the action I take to maintain balance in my own Libra Aries nature, or I'm going to operate more from my fiery nature than maybe aligned with my truth, or living more from my mind than what really motivates and inspires me. So it's trying to, I want these things of the world, but I want to go about it in a way that is just, that is fair, that is balanced, that is aligned with my truth, that inspires me, that motivates me, that I love. And sometimes, we can have different people in our life. Well, that seems practical and logical. This one seems to be more what, I'm sure you get what I mean. So I think as high vibe people are doing this within themselves, they also then could have had different people in their life that they were kind of the extremes. Because when things are on opposite sides of the zodiac wheel, it can be extremes. Like, we had to learn a lesson going that direction. Like, oh, that tipped me out of balance. And then we can go this direction and we kind of tip our life out of balance going in that direction. And then it's to more meet in the middle, that I have realized that if I go too far out in either direction, it kind of tips my life out of balance. So I need to maintain balance within myself. And then I could see the truth about some of the people I was hanging out with in my world that I aligned with. And now, life's about learning more lessons. I think I learned the lessons I meant to learn from these different people I've come in contact in my life with, or how I've lived my life. And now that I've gotten balance between that, maybe next it's kind of between Taurus and Scorpio energy, because Taurus, I view the Queen of Pentacles as Taurus energy, and the opposite zodiac sign of Taurus is Scorpio energy. Again, about I have these things that I want in the world, but I also want deep, meaningful relationships, and finding that balance between the two. What's coming up for the people who harness some more worldly or shadowy Libra energy? Oh, also up here, as people go through this process within themselves, it is about healing and growing and maturing themselves emotionally, male or female, because the feminines can represent how we think and feel. And why were you able to emotionally grow and heal yourself to go to this next level of life? Because you were inspired by the truth and you took action. The kings, the masculines represent taking action. You took action to do this work within yourself, to get balance within yourself. What we invest our time, energy, effort, and focus on is what we manifest. And you have manifested yourself being very kind of more emotionally mature and balanced and stable and inspired maybe than you were before. And because of that, there's going to be other people who are going to want to hire you, be in friendships with you, marry you, because they see that this is the truth of who you are. Now, some shadowy people might want to be in a relationship with you too, because again, you're just still this loving, nurturing person. But you've learned these lessons in life that, we need to look closer at people to get to know the truth of who they are. People can be attractive, people can be charming, people can seem like these just and fair, balanced people, but are they really? And you're going to be communicating with other people are going to communicate with you, who really has done this work within themselves and who just wants to be trying to create an illusion, manipulate in love, who uses their emotions manipulatively and could just view you as an option. Maybe they were in a relationship with someone who they felt left out in the cold in, but really they kind of align with that philosophy of life. And then shadowy people try to get people who are more loving and nurturing than maybe the people they were with, but they could have been in a relationship with someone who's just like them. And they didn't like being in a relationship with someone just like them. But you've been in a relationship with people like that too, and you don't have an interest in repeating that old pattern. That until people have done this work within themselves, and some of the people you will meet are going to be people who have done this work within themselves. And you just need to listen to your intuition. Maybe you'll have two choices. And it's to listen to your intuition. You don't want to make decisions out of pride and ego. Who seems to have done this work? Who do you seem to have that more unique spark with, even if it's just interviewing for a job? You know, who seems to have freed themselves from the things that used to manipulate them? That seems to be on the same page as you. Okay, what's coming up for the shadowy people that they don't see coming? We have a card coming out, and the reason is because of the Six of Cups. So, the Six of Cups can mean, well, what some shadowy people didn't expect if they were being shadowy in a relationship, they thought the people that either that they walked away from would keep feeling left out in the cold and keep staying in shadowy energy, like not loving and believing in themselves. But the people in their life, the Six of Cups can talk about, I did this work within myself to reconcile myself to the situation, to get balance within myself in the Six of Cups. I came to a place of peace about it. And I offered love to the situation. And now what they didn't see coming is whatever this card is, some people aren't offering it to them. The Queen of Wands. Which the Queen of Wands, again, Leo energy. Some people thought, oh, if I walk away from you and maybe I don't speak my truth or communicate with you, you'll feel left out in the cold. You'd be in your ego. And yeah, when some people walked away and when some people maybe didn't communicate with you, initially it did probably put you in your ego. It's a normal human reaction. It gets you in your ego. It causes you to be confused. It could get you in a fearful nature, kind of trigger your codependent energy, get you in competitive energy. But depending on how much life you live, some people said, I am not going to go stay up in my head about someone who took some action that I feel is immature, hurtful, unkind, selfish, prideful, whatever. I'm going to do this work within myself to love and believe in myself. And you got out of your ego about it. And some of them can't believe that. Because if they were in shadowy energy, you have learned some lessons about people who are basically trying to control you. Two cards in shadow, the King of Wands and the King of Swords, someone operating from ego, male or female, that took some immature action out of pride and ego, either to go do what they wanted, or in ego trying to manipulate you. And it could have been they could know that you love them, and trying to use the love that they know that you have for them to manipulate you. Oh, I'm going to do these things to make you feel rejected, to make you feel left out in the cold. I know that'll kind of maybe inspire you to be in high vibe Leo energy to me, to put in work and effort to make me feel better. Maybe they play the poor, poor, pitiful me card, or they go do something. Anyway, they wanted you to move forward with them being in like a shadowy Queen of Wands energy, but you could still be, it could be an out of balance, high vibe Queen of Wands energy where, oh, I will keep being inspired to offer love and nurturing to you. Because some people, again, in shadow energy, is kind of more about them. And they want your focus and your attention on them. They don't want to do equal give and take, and they don't want you healing and growing and maturing yourself and loving and believing in yourself, because that would require them to have to do that work also, and they don't want to do that. They want you to do the relationship the way they want you to do it. And you are supposed to invest emotionally in them. They are the center of attention. And for some, people aren't doing it anymore. I'm not going to indulge you in this kind of tipped out of balance relationship. I am going to speak my truth and maintain balance within myself. I am not going to get up in my ego or my competitive nature or my over-giving, loving nature with you. I'm going to keep maintaining balance within myself. If you want to do a deep, meaningful relationship with me, then let's do that. If not, then you can go do what you want to go do. And I'm just going to be kind of like observing what you're doing, what choices you choose to make. You know, it's kind of fun. You know, you can know people and they talk about their life, and it's like this game that's played. It's like, well, they did this and they did that, so then I did this and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God, I knew someone, their life was just, oh my gosh, so angry and so chaotic. It's like, what if you decided, I'm going to enjoy my day? If you're not going to leave the relationship anyway, how about if you just decide, you know, it really doesn't matter what they do, I'm going to enjoy my day. Yes, like usual, I could ask if they would do this or that, and they grumble or complain, and it's like, okay, you know, same old story, nothing new. But now, instead of getting all angry and upset, and then me acting in this way and me acting in that way, you know, it's like, that's not the story of my life that I'm going to write. I'm going to go ahead and do it by myself or whatever, or go on whatever. I'm just going to enjoy my day. And I might tell them I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do that. And I'm not, you know, if they wanted to come with, or if we got along better, maybe they'd want to. But, you know, when one person changes in the relationship, it affects the whole dynamic. And for some people right now that are in a mismatched relationship, some of those shadowy people are trying to get someone to indulge them by trying to appeal to their lust or their greed or their pride or their ego, or by being immature, being hurtful, trying to make them feel left out in the cold. And some of the people are like, I'm not doing that. I'm moving forward, and I'm not going to get up in my head on it. I'm going to keep moving forward like this, basically being a leader in the world. Do you want to come with me in this energy? If you want to keep doing what you do, you can. But eventually, we're both going to see the truth that we're not on the same page. And some people right now are really in their ego because someone is detaching and doesn't seem to be up in their head about it anymore. I did this, you're supposed to do that. Well, I'm not doing that. You can go do that if you want. Well, you're not playing the game. I don't want to play the game. I'm maintaining balance within myself emotionally, to love and believe in myself, treat other people the way I want to be treated. If before I used to get triggered into playing in the mud with you and being angry and being whatever, I don't want to do that anymore, because that's not how I want to live my life. But if you want to keep doing that, you can. I think eventually we'll see it's clear that I'm probably going to leave this relationship. And then when other people are doing things that are manipulative or unkind or unjust or unfair, they could purposely want the other people to feel left out in the cold. I'm going to go do something to really make you feel left out in the cold. And for some people, that's like the final nail in the coffin. It's like, well, you have really revealed the truth of who you were. For a long time, I could have known you were whatever ways, but I really never saw the depth of who you really were. But now there's no illusions now. I have definitely reconciled myself with this situation. I have not in my ego about it anymore. And I am moving on to go invest my time, energy, and effort into other people other than you. Another thing these people might not see coming is there might be someone who does want to move forward with them in a relationship. Maybe because that's where they're at in life, or that's how they live their life. It's a Scorpio energy for some of you. It could be a Scorpio for others of you. It just means someone who's on kind of the same page as them. And so what these people might not see coming is there is someone, possibly from their past, possibly a Scorpio, or just someone who really is on the same page as them, that will move forward with them in life like this, or has lessons learned from them too. But if there's someone who is a loving person, the same scenario is going to play out again. And eventually that person's going to feel left out in the cold. Eventually this person is going to love and believe in themselves. And eventually those people are going to want to leave the relationship. But shadowy Scorpio, when we get in relationships with high vibe people, they want deep, meaningful relationships. When we kind of are in shadowy relationships, it's in shadowy Scorpio energy, it can be a little more emotionally shallow and superficial. So they might have someone who wants to come be in a relationship with them, but if there's someone who lives more from their mind than their heart, kind of more about just having sex in a relationship versus making love to someone, they might find someone who's more comfortable being in emotionally shallow, superficial relationships too. But the only thing is, that person isn't very maybe warm and loving and nurturing and supportive and encouraging, kind of just like them. And then, though that is justice, we reap what we sow. Maybe that person isn't very bold and brave and authentic. Maybe they're not very authentic. Maybe it's all this social construct and personal persona of look how wonderful our life is. And everybody's hiding behind their egoic nature. Which, if that's what some of these people are doing, then it's just unfair for them to be in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. I don't want to think about love. I don't want to put in work and effort to do love. I'm okay operating from my more worldly, egoic nature, kind of hiding behind my ego, being in relationships, having sex with people, but it's kind of more superficial and shallow because we reject our more, creative, inspired, being authentic. Authentically being in a relationship and having a deep, meaningful relationship with someone and having intimacy with them from love is a much different experience than being in a relationship with someone you're having sex with. And, for the people who wanted to remain detached and kind of like, no, even though I'm in a relationship with these loving people who are being loving and nurturing, and I feel like, oh my God, they love me, I'm not going to let myself go there because then I could get emotionally attached. Well, it's just unfair for them to end up in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. And the high vibe people are going to invest in people who harness high vibe Aries Libra energy. People who are motivated and inspired by the truth that it is about investing in love. Love is what makes it all worthwhile. We want all those things of the world, and the things of the world are meant to be enjoyed, but they're meant to be enjoyed from a place of love. That way they don't get a stranglehold on us. We don't make those things the answer to our problems. They also might get in a relationship with someone who presents themselves as a loving person, but they're hiding the fact that they're operating from their ego too. And they're just emotionally manipulating them for how it benefits them. I want to be in a relationship. You want to be in a relationship? Okay, let's be in a relationship. I feel left out in the cold. Let's get in a relationship. I don't feel maybe I have the status or the image that I want. Let's get in a relationship. If you're not in a relationship for love, why are you in a relationship? It can be just because you're on the same page and you have lessons to learn from each other, or it can be that people are getting in relationships for the wrong reasons. So there you go, Libra energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy. I won't see you next time. Bye-bye.